Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're really diving deep today into all these motivational speeches you've sent over. Um, Talk about self-belief and resilience and all that good stuff. Just looking through these got me like seriously fired up. But I'm also wondering how we can take these big like motivational speeches and find some like real wisdom in them.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? We're like surrounded by this motivational stuff these days. It's everywhere you look.
Totally.
But it's like how much of it actually sticks? How much of it actually makes a difference in our lives? And I think that's what we're trying to figure out, right?
Exactly. Like one thing I noticed going through these speeches was this idea that God doesn't make mistakes. It popped up in a few different places, and it really got me thinking. Have you ever thought about that? Like everything happens for a reason, even the hard stuff.
It's a powerful idea, isn't it? I mean, as humans, we're hardwired to find meaning in our experiences, especially the tough ones, right? And this idea that like setbacks aren't random, they're not mistakes, it can be very comforting.
It's like almost reassuring in a way.
Exactly. And it can help us reframe those challenges as opportunities for growth, to learn and become stronger.
And we actually saw some amazing stories about that in these speeches. Like one that comes to mind is this athlete, incredible athlete, who was about to go to the Olympics, right? And then, bam, he blows out his knee. Devastating. But instead of letting it destroy him, he used that time to mentor underprivileged kids, and he found his true calling. It's like, talk about turning a negative into a positive, right?
Absolutely. And that actually brings us to another big theme that emerged from these speeches: the power of choosing positivity, even in the face of negativity. It's about consciously shifting your perspective, how you react.
It's like instead of getting bogged down by the negative, you're actively choosing to look for the good, the opportunity, the lesson in it all.
Exactly. And it's not about ignoring the negative or pretending everything is perfect. It's just about recognizing that you always have a choice in how you respond to things.
It's like you're in control.
Right. Exactly. You have more agency than you think. And one speaker gave this great example. He said, imagine you're in a meeting and your boss criticizes your work. Your immediate instinct might be to get defensive, maybe even fire back.
Right. Oh, it's been there. It's tough.
Right. But what if instead of getting defensive, you take a deep breath and you say, I appreciate the feedback. I'll work on that.
Okay, yeah. I could see how that would completely change the dynamic.
It's about choosing a more constructive path. And the research actually supports this. It's been proven that responding to negativity with positivity can actually improve your well-being, reduces stress, boosts your immune system. It's like your body's literally thanking you for choosing chill.
Wow. So are we saying that just like thinking positive thoughts can solve all our problems? Because that sounds a little too good to be true, right?
Of course not. It's not magic, right? It doesn't erase the challenges, but it can give you the tools to face those challenges with more resilience, more emotional intelligence. It's all about realizing you've got more control over your reactions than you might think.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like you're not just along for the ride. You're actually in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
But let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
That's way easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Like actually putting it into practice, like every day.
Yeah.
That takes work.
You're telling me it takes practice, a conscious effort. It's about challenging those negative thought patterns we all have.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of challenges, another big thing I noticed in these speeches was this whole idea of like really owning your awesomeness, like celebrating your strengths and what you've achieved.
Yeah, and it's like we're always so focused on what's wrong, what we haven't done yet, our flaws. But these speakers, they were all about flipping that script, saying, hey, look how far you've come. You got this. Celebrate that.
It's true. And it wasn't about being like arrogant or anything. It was more about recognizing your own progress, giving
Yes.
yourself a pat on the back, right? Like be proud of how far you've come.
Exactly. One speaker said something like, self-celebration, it's not about the ego, it's about self-compassion. I thought that was a good point.
I love that.
Acknowledging those wins, no matter how big or small, treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's so easy to fall into that comparison trap.
Mhm.
Especially these days with social media. It's like everyone else is always winning.
It's like a recipe for self-doubt, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where this message of owning your awesomeness comes in. Like, define success on your own terms, focus on your own journey, celebrate what makes you you.
I love that. One thing that struck me as we were going through these speeches, like the energy level was really high. Some of these speakers were like, you're amazing, you're unstoppable. And it was pretty contagious. But I'm curious, for someone who's not used to all that hype, how does that kind of like super positive affirmation land? Is it motivating or a bit too much?
That's a good question, and it really highlights that everyone responds to this stuff differently. Some people, they eat that up. It's like fuel to their fire. But for others, it might feel, I don't know, cheesy or fake even. And it's okay. There's no right way to do this.
So how do you figure out what works for you?
Well, I think it's about paying attention to how different messages make you feel. Do you feel inspired? Or do you feel kind of pressured? Do you feel it in your gut? Or are you resisting it?
It's like trust your gut feeling.
Exactly.
And it's probably okay if not everything resonates with you, right? Like you don't have to change your entire personality to be more positive.
Exactly. It's a process. Like anything else, it takes time, trial and error.
It's about finding what feels right, like what actually gets you motivated without feeling, I don't know, phony or whatever.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny, going through all these speeches, it got me thinking about like my own motivational style.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm drawn to the more like research-based stuff, practical tips, things that are backed by science.
Right, right.
But, I can still appreciate a good pep talk every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. There's a place for everything. So as we're wrapping up all these amazing motivational speeches, what are some key takeaways we can leave our listeners with?
Well, we've talked about the importance of like finding meaning in our experiences, right? Especially the challenging ones, turning those setbacks into, opportunities for growth.
Yeah, that really resonated with me. Like even when things are tough, there's a reason for it.
Absolutely. And we also talked about, choosing positivity not as a way to ignore the negative, but as a way to like approach it with a more, I don't know, constructive attitude.
Yeah, that really stuck with me. Like you always have a choice in how you react.
Exactly. And finally, don't forget about self-compassion, right? Celebrating what you've accomplished, owning your awesomeness, all that good stuff.
It's so important. We can be so hard on ourselves.
Oh.
So, yeah, if there's one thing I hope you take away from all of this, it's that you have the power, right?
Yeah.
You have the power to shape your own experiences, to find that meaning, to choose positivity, to celebrate your own journey.
Beautifully said. And, if you're ever feeling stuck or lost or just like blah, remember you're not alone in this. We're all in this together, right?
Totally. And sometimes all it takes is that little reminder, that little nudge to like reignite that fire.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay open-minded, and keep reaching for that amazing potential. We'll be here with you every step of the way.